Bright Beauty. Every student matters.
Hello students, welcome to your math lesson. We have learned in decimals about the introduction. We know how to represent decimals in tenths and in hundredths. Okay, so now let us start our today's lesson. Starting with comparing decimals. The first statement says if you are comparing the decimal numbers where the whole numbers are different. So it says if the whole numbers of a decimal are different, then we can easily compare them. The number with the greater whole number will be the greater. So let us see an example. Say I am writing 2.6 and 8.4. Okay. So now what is the whole number here in these decimal numbers? In 2.6, 2 is the whole number, and in 8.4, 8 is the whole number. So you see here the whole numbers, they are different. So clearly the number which has got a greater whole number, it is the bigger number in the decimal itself. Okay. Now we'll work about this more. For now, let us just keep it till here. The second statement says that if the whole number is the same, so instead of say 2.6 and 8.4, we have 2.6 and 2.4. Okay. Now the whole numbers, they are not different, they are same. It says if the whole numbers of the decimals are same, then we will compare the tenths and then the hundredths part if required. The number with greater tenths part is the greater one. So here what do you see? The whole number, they are basically same. So which one do we need to compare? We will compare the number sitting at the tenths place. In 2.6, 6 is sitting at the tenths place, and 2.4, 4 is sitting at the tenths place. So which number is bigger? 2.6 is bigger. Okay, let us read more about this. Let us read about comparing decimals with the help of examples. The question says that here we need to compare the number 532.48 and 682.26. So here clearly what we see is that the whole numbers that are given to us, that is 532 and 682, they are different, right? So we don't even have to consider what the numbers at the tenth and the hundredth place is sitting. We just compare the two whole numbers. So clearly as the whole numbers are different, so we can easily find that the number, the greater the whole number, is the greater number. Clearly 682, it is having a greater whole number, so it is the bigger number. And how do we put these greater than smaller than sign? I hope you know that the crocodile is a greedy animal and he eats the bigger side. So whichever number is bigger, we put the crocodile mouth open on that particular number, right? Now let us look at this example. Here we can see that the whole numbers, they are same. Clearly the numbers are 42 and 42 on both the sides, right? Here also it is 42.36. Here also it is 42.68 this time. Okay, so the whole numbers are same, but the decimal numbers, they are different. So what do? We will first compare the number sitting at the tenths place. Okay, so which number is sitting at the tenths place in the first number? It is 3. Which number is sitting at the tenths place in the second number? It is 6. So which number do you think is bigger? Clearly this number, that is 42.68, is bigger because the number sitting at the tenths place is bigger than the number sitting at the tenths place in 42.36. Is this clear? Let's do some examples, then we'll get even more idea of this. Now look at this picture. Using these pictures, we are going to see that how we compare the decimal numbers. Can you tell me how do you write the first image is in fraction? Here, out of 10, one part is selected, is shaded, or we can say. So we write in fraction this as 1 over 10. How do we write this in decimal numbers? 1 over 10 is written as 0.1 in decimals. Am I right? Now look at the second image. How many divisions do you see? It is a total of 100 divisions. And out of 100 divisions, how many do you see shaded? Just 1. So this is 1 over 100. And how do we write this 1 over 100 in decimal? It is 0.01 because 1 needs to sit on the hundredths place, right? Now tell me, do you think 1 over 10 is bigger or 1 over 100 is bigger? Clearly what we do, we see that here the decimal, this whole number, in both these numbers, it's same. Both the sides we have got a 0. There's no whole number. Then we see the decimal point sitting in both the numbers. So what will we do? We'll move to the next number. What number sits next after the decimal point is a number at the tenths place. So this 1 in here and 0 in here, we are going to compare these two numbers. Okay. Now tell me, is 1 a bigger number or 0 is a bigger number? I hope your answer is that clearly 1 is a bigger number. So this is how we have got the answer, that 0.1 is bigger than 0.01. Okay, I hope this is clear. Let us now see some more examples where we'll solve the pictures to compare the numbers. Here, let's see the red boxes at first. In the first image here, you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We see 5 boxes shaded. So how do we write it? We write it as 0.5. Now in the second one, out of 100 we see 6. It's because 100 are shaded. So it is not 0.5, it is 5 over 100. So it is 0.05, right? And in the second one, we see out of 100, 6 are shaded. So we write it as 0.06. Now let us compare these numbers. Clearly, in both the numbers, the whole number that we have is 0. So what will we do? We'll move to the tens place. In both the numbers, at the tens place, what we have is 0 and 0. So they are still the same. So we'll move to the next place. After the tens place, we have got hundredths place. So at the hundredths place, what do you see? Here we see a 5 and here we see a 6. Am I right? Now compare the two numbers. Which one is greater? Clearly 6 is greater than 5. Therefore 0.06 is a greater decimal number compared to 0.05. Clear? Now let us compare the two images next that we see. In the first one we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0.52 because out of 152 are shaded. And the second one we have got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 0.43 because 43 are shaded out of 100. So now I hope you can clearly see which number is bigger. Starting with the whole number, 0 on both the sides, so it's equal. Moving to the tens place, here it's 5, here it's 4. So we don't even need to move forward. Clearly 0.52 is bigger than 0.43. I hope this makes more sense now. Moving ahead, let's do some questions to see which number is greater in here. If you see the number 1 and 0.99. So now I hope you remember that once I told you in one of the lesson that if you just see a single whole number sitting like 1, you can put a decimal point after it and you can put as many zeros as you want after the decimal point. It won't make any difference. Okay. So now what can we do here? Because we are just given a 1. Let us write 1 as 1.00. Okay. And what is the other number? It is 0.99. Okay. Now what are we going to compare at first? We are first going to compare the whole numbers. So which whole number do you see first? Here it is a 1 and here it is a 0. Do you think we need to even look further? No, we don't. We will just compare the whole numbers and clearly what we see that 1 is bigger than 0.99. I hope it makes more sense now. Let's look at the next one. Here clearly the whole numbers that we have got, they are same. So let's write down the whole number, like the numbers again. It's 1.09 and on the other side we have got 1.093. Okay, now here one of the number, the first one here, the decimal number is given till the hundredths place. However, 1.093 is till the thousandths place. So if you want, you can make them like decimal numbers and you can put a 0 after 9. It won't make any difference. Okay, so let's compare them. Comparing the whole numbers, they are same. Then we compare the numbers sitting at the tenths place, they are still same. Move forward. Numbers sitting at the hundredths place, they are still same. So now let's move to the next number sitting at the thousandths place. So here we have got a 0 and here we have got a 3. So which number is bigger? Clearly 3 is bigger than 0. So which answer is bigger out of the two? 1.093 is the bigger number. So that's the answer. Okay. Now the next one is we have got 32.55 and the other number is 32.5. Now again let us make them like decimal numbers by putting a 0 here. Why are we doing this? Because here we can see in the first number, we have two numbers after decimal point. So we have done the same thing with the other number as well. Because there was just a single number sitting after decimal point. So we place a 0. Okay. So now comparing the two, clearly we can see that the whole numbers, they are equal. Both sides we see 32. Then the number sitting at the tenths place, both the places it's a 5. So again we can say that they are equal. We need to move further. Moving further, we see that here in the first number, we have got a 5 and the other one, it is a 0. So the answer that we have got, which is bigger, is 32.55 is the greater number.